It was more than that, she said, okay? Now I just want to talk to you because you just wanted an Emmy for the city of Atlanta. And this isn't Atlanta, and they just want to hear about the Emmy. And hear from you and to thank you for what you did. To put the city on before I entered, we will also not discuss your children. We won't discuss jail or cases, none of that is going to be discussed, and enters right away. Heading in the other direction, you are a poor comic, so you can't turn. On me, you will be destroyed by me. And I will never call you by name. I will never say anything offensive to someone who looks like you. I am the line is really thin, someone called me. However, this woman is attempting to make me look foolish. In front of a fan base that is primarily gay, she was cancelled. As a result, the fact that you would disparagingly refer to me as gay is not well received by LGBT people. It doesn't seem disparaging to gay folks. I don't even belong in this community. So why are you attempting to embarrass me with it? No gay person has ever told me that I belong there or visited. It's absurd that the majority of us will only remember Wanda Smith for her notorious procession. With Katt Williams, people continue to discuss how awful her feud with Katt went and how her career seemed to take a nosedive after that, even after the news of her death broke. However, it appears that Katt Williams was also unwilling to let it go. Because Wanda has a history of making fun of guests and even approaching him. Before the interview started, he still believes that the entire situation was a big setup. Then, because he turned out to be a great comedian, she sent her husband and her son after him, risking his life, and then, kid, all bets are off. He also has no remorse for what transpired or how it came back to haunt her. I didn't even know about the things she had done to my fellow comedians until later. So you either believe in karma or you don't. All I know is that it was a setup. And don't forget that they attempted to murder me that same weekend, not in jest, but on camera, brandishing a real gun in my face. You get it? My participation in something related to my profession is costing me my life. As if there were to comedians. What are you saying? Thus, as previously said, the majority of individuals now recall gagging as Katt Williams pulled Wanda Smith across the floor on her own radio show floor and how she gradually disappeared from view after that. On the other hand, Wanda had a lot going for her before that. Wanda was a radio mainstay throughout the 1990s and early 2000s. So if you grew up in Atlanta around that period, you probably heard her on the radio a few times. She co-hosted the Frank and Wanda in the Morning program. Wanda also experimented with other projects, including Bet's Comic View and the popular television show Death Comedy Jam. Additionally, she made her acting debut in films such as Media Goes to Jail and Medeidia's Witness Protection. Wanda was one of the hosts of the Frank and Wanda Morning Show. She frequently interviewed guests and occasionally invited comedians to appear on the show. But trust me, lady, when I say that nothing could have prepared anyone for what would happen on that fateful day when Katt Williams arrived.
Telling us about what's going on in jail.
Yes, ma'am, and getting out to tell you. But I'm going to tell you at an arena named Phillips, and you going to tell me at the Atlanta Comedy Theater.
That's right, true.
Tomorrow, be there.
All right.
Red Grant show, I know
Red
I'll
Grant.
be there. Don't miss it.
Red Grant, Katt Williams, thank y'all for coming through, man.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
I see why people come to Wanda's show.
Yeah.
Because Frank Ski puts it down.
That's right. Get on out of here with your crazy ass.
Uh-huh. Is he crazy?
And help me get to the salon. All right, it's the People Station Viewer 3. Your hair is kind of...
That joint was.
My hair is 19 inches long and I have no perm.
You don't?
Oops.
Oh, that's not a perm.
No, it is not. Nice lady.
That's natural.
Come run one of your gnarled fingers. While you on air. So they can hear you live.
That Katt wasn't supposed to be on the broadcast that day, which is funny. He didn't have a ride, so he was merely at the studio to drop off his friend Red Grant, who had an interview that day. Red Grant even remembered that when they arrived. Wanda saw both of them, but she only went to embrace him and didn't even welcome or embrace Katt Williams. She only talked to him once. When she inquired if he would be interested in appearing on the show, Katt declined, stating that he was only there to support his friend and had no genuine plans to appear on the show. But he complied after Wanda pleaded with him to appear on the show and said how much they wanted to interview him. Additionally, Wanda and Frank decided just before the interview started that they would not question Katt about his children or the charges he had against him. They would only talk about the good things he was doing. This is where things start to get messy. Red Grant claims that Katt Williams didn't merely lose her temper and start yelling. Wanda suddenly appeared. Wanda abruptly brought up his children just as Katt was sitting down, getting ready for the interview, and putting on his headphones. She began to discuss them and make small jabs at Katt until he stood up and left the room. But the people around her managed to defuse the situation and get Katt back into the room, so the interview could start. However, it seemed as though Wanda had changed again as soon as they started rolling. She then began questioning Katt about his children. Wanda definitely didn't give Katt any time to get used to the interview. Before she barged in on him as if she had been waiting for a fight, she did all she could to make him act out of character, including attacking his blood pressure, attire, and hair. Wanda was giving it all, but the newborn Katt was giving it back and then more.
Get this inmate out of here.
If you can't get your blood pressure down, you can't call me down.
Whatever, little mama.
If your cholesterol is 600,
Whatever, little mama.
I'm little mama's baby daddy.
No, you little mama.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey,
And what are you, girl? You probably shouldn't talk about sizes.
No, that's okay.
You big on the radio.
That's right. And you're big
Turn
in
it
prison.
down.
And you're
Yes,
big in
ma'am.
prison.
I've never been to prison.
You have
19
several
felonies,
times.
no conviction.
Even when Wanda had nothing left in the tank, Katt just kept going and going. And at that point, it was like, why did she even think that she could go up against Katt Williams? And to make matters worse, Wanda's co-host, Frank, was laughing, cracking up unapologetically, and didn't do anything to come to Wanda's defense. And when Wanda tried to hit below the belt and bring up Katt's legal troubles, he went even harder. And anything Wanda said fell short of all of the jabs that Katt was taking at her.
No,
$12.
No. That all is available. If you want to have Wanda's jewelry, please go to Citgo or Quick Trip at any point. If you buy 2 packs of Newport 100s, they will give you everything Wanda has on right now for $7.99, and it comes with a free car wash. Won't you come on down?
Yeah.
And the interview received millions of views as soon as it was posted to social media. And since no one was getting over that, Wanda's subsequent interviews were unsuccessful. Wanda even attempted self-defense at one point, saying that Katt was the one who assaulted her. But nobody believed her, and they weren't on her side at all.
People like, why you didn't go back? Because I know my mouth. I could have said some really ugly, foul things, but I didn't want to talk to him like that. I did not. It was a respect thing.
Since radio broadcasts were live, it was impossible to cut out any of the talk. Wanda was unable to persuade anyone that Katt had said anything negative about her, because it was obvious to everyone how much she continued to make fun of him, until he made the decision to utilize his words, intelligence, and clever comic skills to get her off of him. Ultimately, such incidents occur when two comedians compete against one another, and the superior one always prevails. But it wasn't until she had both her husband and her son pull up on Katt while he was at the Atlanta Comedy Theater to support his friend's child that everyone realized how bitter Wanda was about the whole thing. Katt fled for his life when her spouse, La Morrisers, brandished a revolver at him, and a large man followed him all the way to the food depot before turning back to the theater. It was a very humiliating scenario. Losing your own radio program was one thing, but getting your husband and son to threaten his life because you couldn't handle a joke you started was quite another. Now, that is just excessively clumsy and naive. Wanda's choice turned what should have been a heated exchange between two comedians into a widely reported story. Everyone was berating her before you knew it. Wanda went into full defense mode rather than simply being silent or expressing regret for what she said and did. Wanda accused V103 of uploading the interview and her co-host Frank of failing to interrupt them. She even accused Katt of making fun of her by approaching her.
I just felt the tension, like, every time I would ask him something or say something, it was like he kind of came for me. And I'm not that kind of comedian. Like, I don't go tit for tat. I don't, that's not what I do. Nick Cannon asked me to go to Wild 'N Out. I'm like, dude, that's not my thing. I mean, so just because of the respect that I have for him, when he started coming at me, it kind of threw me off. So I didn't know how to retaliate or how to come back, because that's not how I wanted to talk to him. I didn't want to talk to him like that. I didn't want to go back and forth with him, because of the respect. So when it kept going on and on and on, as a person that has integrity, I had to say something back, and I didn't want to.
But it seemed like Wanda put the last nail in the coffin when she did that. Months after she and V103 split up, Wanda found it extremely difficult to find gigs because she was primarily supported by her core fan group. Wanda Smith never fully got over her feud with Katt Williams, and it continued to be mentioned as one of the most memorable events in her career even after she passed away. And Katt Williams is totally in agreement with them, you guys. Because what Wanda did at that particular moment was really inappropriate. It could have gone terribly badly for him if he had lacked common sense, and the cameras hadn't caught them. For standing up for himself, that is.
A very interesting thing happens when
you try to trap something that's bigger than your trap. So imagine you set out a trap for a turtle and a rhinoceros steps into it. It's finna be a whole different situation now.
I also realized that I'm not attempting to disrespect short-haired black ladies. I don't mean to disrespect women who are heavyset. I don't mean to offend other comedians. None of that is what I'm attempting to do, and I am unable to. I'm smart enough to know that I need to mention that you have gnarled fingers since I know that. You don't know what the phrase means due to your inadequate education. Therefore, I'm competent to do none of that and still eviscerate you. Therefore, it is impossible for you to reply to it. Since comedians do this, I'm going to keep hammering you even though you don't understand what I'm saying. The fallacy is that you have been pretending to be a comedian as well. Therefore, no boxer competes against someone who is heavier than them. Furthermore, it was difficult for them to ever agree again because she never accepted responsibility for what had occurred. Additionally, the internet is supporting him all the way up, since the least Wanda could have done was admit that she did play a significant role in the events that transpired. I watched the video of Katt Williams snooping on Wanda Smith whenever I want to experience extreme second-hand embarrassment. Wanda was cooked by Katt. She was worthy. In the story, it wasn't inappropriate. What many don't realize about the Katt Williams controversy is that Wanda Smith is also a comic. It's not that she didn't get the humor of comedians. She just received a failing grade. However, how do you feel about the entire situation? Is it reasonable to feel sad for Wanda Smith because of the difficulties she faced in her profession in her latter years? Because I'll see you in the future video. Please leave your opinions in the comments section and remember to like and subscribe. Goodbye, villains.